Hey y'all, and welcome back to Mulberry Ranch Farm. My name is Ashley, and today we are going to be participating in Fermented February, and we're talking about kombucha, the second fermentation. So let me tell you a little bit about Fermented February and how you're going to be able to go into the drawing for those prizes. So lovely Miss Anna over at the Fermented Homestead hosts Fermented February. Myself, along with 21 other creators, get together and we share our love for our new journeys into fermentation, which is wonderful for you because if you're a beginner all the way up to someone who might be an expert, you're going to be able to pull something from any one of these videos throughout the entire month of February. So if you want to win your prizes throughout this video, drop your comments down below because I'm going to be doing kombucha, the second fermentation, and this is pretty much my first real try at doing a second fermentation. I'm sure a lot of you out there already do it and you have lovely recipes, or you can tell me how I'm doing things wrong or things that I might like or things that I might want to change, and I'm open to do this better because this is probably not going to be my best attempt. First attempts are usually tripping through and learning by failures. So those comments that you put down below will be pulled randomly by Anna, and she holds a weekly drawing every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time on her channel on a live, and those comments are randomly drawn to pick weekly winners. But at the very end of February, February 29th, because it is a leap year and we have that extra day this year, she's going to be having a grand prize drawing for the water seal crock, and that will also be live on her channel at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So make sure that you comment. But before we go ahead and go into what we're going to be doing today, which is kombucha, the second fermentation, I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about myself and my family here on the farm so that you get to know me and maybe can relate to some of the things that I talk about throughout the video. Mulberry Branch Farm is located in East Central Indiana. It is owned and operated by myself, my husband Mark, and my daughter Josie. We are just a bunch of crazy goat people here. We have a large herd of Nigerian dwarf goats, and I say large because I always tell people that I have 40-ish. And the ish at the end is specifically to protect my mental wellness as long as my husband's. And we just really love our goats here. We use them for milk, we take them to shows, we do production and performance programs for the American Dairy Goat Association or the ADGA, and that's how you can tell that we're crazy goat people, because most people have goats for permaculture reasons. They provide manure, meat, fiber, milk, all of the above, and we just take it a little step further. Outside of our dairy goats here, we run a sweet little flock of lavender Orpington chickens along with some Easter eggers. We have Muscovy ducks, we do beekeeping, we do lots of gardening, foraging, hunting. We have in-ground gardens, we have raised gardens that we practice hugelkulture in. We just try to do all of it. We're really driven here to just live a really beautiful and simplistic life where we do as much as we can for ourselves, by ourselves, but we also realize that community is the cornerstone of success, and that's why we really love to throw ourselves into our channel and to invite people along on our journey. While I would like to think that we are superhumans over here and we can do everything by ourselves, the honest truth is that we can't. There's no way that I can be an expert in all things that I'm going to need to live sustainably, and that's where community comes in. And that's why I'm also glad that you guys are here, because you're gonna help me with this kombucha that we're getting ready to crack into. So for some of you that are new here, this is my third year doing Fermented February. Last year, I created Scoby Dick. Scoby Dick is the SCOBY that I use to create kombucha. Now, if you're not really sure what a SCOBY is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and when it's added to this tea, it ferments over time and it creates kombucha. I named my SCOBY last year Scoby Dick. The bad thing is that the SCOBY that you might be able to gander at back here is not the original Scoby Dick. While Scoby Dick did make many batches of kombucha for me and sat in a hotel for a good portion of the summer, this winter when I went to wake him back up, I set him next to my sink and splashed, I suppose, some of the well water into his container, and it caused it to mold. So Scoby Dick got moldy and I had to get rid of him. Luckily, while I was waking him up, I did keep some of the starter fluid, some of the starter tea, the kombucha, and I just put it into a new batch, and I had a little bit of my bottled starter, which I'm going to show right here, that I got off of Amazon. And I was able to create Scoby Dick 2.0. So Scoby Dick is who we have to thank here for creating kombucha that we will be fermenting for a second time. So what I want to go over now is some of the equipment that I used in order to create my Scoby number one, and how I went about creating this second fermentation. Now, everything that I'm using and showing you will be down in the description below. These are Amazon affiliate links, so just so you, with full transparency, I do get a little commission off them if you buy from them, but it doesn't cost anything for you. Just want to be really transparent that that's what's going to be down in the links below if you see anything here and that you are inspired to create your own SCOBY. To begin your second ferment, you're going to need your first ferment kombucha. And I have it here in this lovely container with a breathable top and a spiffy little spigot down at the bottom so that when I'm draining my kombucha, I'm not going to be disturbing my SCOBY on the top. Here I have some of the equipment I'm going to be using today. I have these lovely bottles that are used for second fermentation. Now, if you don't want to take the time to create your own kombucha SCOBY, you definitely can buy your own, like this one that I bought on Amazon. I like these bottles because they are meant to hold pressure. They have rubber gaskets on the bottom, and you can see that once they're placed on top, you can clasp this down because this fermentation is going to create pressure and we don't want these tops to pop off. It also comes with funnels to make putting your kombucha in these bottles as mess-free as possible, which is always good in my book. And the flavor profiles that I'm going to be using for my second ferment are strawberries, blackberries, and lemon. I'll be using these separately, and I'll also be creating combinations between the three along with some farm fresh honey straight from our beehives here on Mulberry Branch Farm. Now, this recipe does call for the fruit to be pureed. So I've got my food processor here. I'll be pureeing each of these fruits. And just a heads up, my fruit pureeing game is not on point. I am quite impatient. So I guess when we use this funnel, it'll tell me whether I've pureed them enough or not. But the reason that you're wanting to puree these for a second ferment is, number one, it really is going to help you disperse the flavor of the fruit into your kombucha. And I think it also helps to make the sugar in the fruit more readily available for fermentation, because the way that this ferment works is it needs sugar to ferment. I know some people do add sprinkles of sugar to ensure that the fermentation maybe even speeds up, but I want to kind of just go with the puree at this point. So in preparation for bottling them, I'll be putting each of my fruits in separate little cups so that we can keep it all nice and tidy. I'm also going to be rinsing out my food processor between each fruit so that we don't make an unwanted combo, that we can really keep the flavor profiles how we especially want them to be. So for my first go, I'm actually going to use 6 different combinations. I'm going to do strawberry on its own, blackberry on its own, and lemon on its own. For the combos, I'll be using lemon and blackberry, lemon and strawberry, and then lemon and honey. I really like lemons, in case you can't tell. I'm a citrus type of person. I really enjoy the way that it tastes. Those are the different combinations that we're going to use. And while I'm only going to ferment all of these at 3 days, I'm not quite sure how these different fruits are going to react for a 3-day ferment. So I'm going to try to keep good track and good notes as to how quickly they each ferment, and if maybe an addition of the lemon speeds it up and other things. Now, some fermentations can take a lot longer than 3 days. It could take even up to a week. But I think that's the fun part here, is that you can make all kinds of different flavor combinations, but you can also ferment it longer to make it more fizzy, or not as long for less fizz, depending on what you prefer. So we'll only be doing it for 3 days, and at the end of this, we will figure out if 3 days was enough or if we need to do more. And you can already tell here, my puree game is not strong. It's not going through the funnels very well. And for each one of these flavors, I'm only using 1/3 cup of the puree for my flavor profiles. That way I know that they all started at the same amount, and I'm not really doing any guesswork as to how much I use. So if I want more, I know exactly how much more I need to put in, or that I need to pull back off of 1/3 cup of fruit puree. Once I'm done adding the puree to these bottles, it's going to be time to add the kombucha to each one of these bottles. And that's another time I'm really happy for these funnels, because I am neither graceful nor very attentive in the kitchen, and I tend to make really big messes. So the funnels are going to help me keep from allowing all this kombucha to end up on my floor And any insurance policy or shortcut I can take to keeping a clean kitchen, I am surely going to take. Once we're done bottling each of these second ferments, I'll be putting them in my pantry in a tote. I'm putting them in my pantry so that I can control the amount of sunlight that hits these bottles, because just like the first ferment, it doesn't really like sunlight all that much. And I'm putting it in a tote so that if the pressure builds too much for my bottle, because some bottles might not be strong enough depending on how much pressure these ferments create, there is a chance that it could become a bomb. And I don't want fruit puree and kombucha all over my pantry, so this tote will be an insurance policy for sure. 3 days are up and these bad boys are going into the fridge. The fridge pretty much puts a pause on the fermentation process. So this is as fizzy as these are going to get. It's going to stop the fermentation, and then I'm going to let them stay in here for 24 hours. And then we will be taste testing and seeing if this is a failure or a win. So now that we're done with that part, and you can see how we prepared our SCOBY, the things that we used, the different types of ingredients that I used to create my second ferments, I've actually taken them out of the fridge just now, and they've been in there for about a day. And remember, the reason that we refrigerate these after the second fermentation is it kind of stops things. It kind of puts a pause button on the fermentation so that there's not going to be any fizz buildup. I don't know how this is going to come out of here very well. I mean, this could be a bomb. Everything I read online was like, make sure you have really good bottles, because if it's thin or brittle glass, then you might have a bomb on your hands. Which is why I showed myself putting these in a tote and putting something over the tote, because in case in the time that I allowed them, which was 3 days to ferment, that the glass for some reason wasn't going to hold to the pressure of the fermentation and all of the pressure building inside, then at least it wouldn't create a huge mess. So that's a tip for you guys. So I'm gonna actually get ready to go ahead and open these up, but I am gonna grab a bowl and then a smaller bowl to put this in and over, so that when I open it, I don't know how to clean drywall ceilings very well, so I want to keep them clean and white. I want to keep this as intact as I can for drinking. So let's go ahead and let's sample and see which one I like best, and we can also go over if 3 days was enough for this specific type of ingredient combination, because if it's not fizzy enough, literally what I will do is I will let this come back to room temperature, and I will let it ferment for another couple of days, and then I will put it back into my fridge to stop the fermentation process and to stop the pressure buildup, and then I will open it again. So this is, like I said, this is my first time doing a second fermentation, so I might open these and there might be no fizz, no nothing. It could be a total flop, but at least it'll let me know maybe about the flavors that I'm going to be using in this, and to see if it was good flavoring or if I need more lemon, less lemon. We know lemon goes a long way. I really wish I had raspberries when I did this, but the good thing too is that as my garden comes in, a lot of these things we grow by ourselves. So blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. I don't have lemons. We have the honey on the farm, but no, here we go, guys. I'm actually kind of scared to do this. We can go in order. I've got my bowl here so that I will be putting these in like so. When I open them, I'm gonna have a bowl over the top so that I don't make a complete mess of my kitchen, because I cleaned it specifically for this video. This is this, I know this is blackberry. I think this is just blackberry. So there isn't a lemon, as we're not on point here. All right, so I'm so scared. Oh, what? How anticlimactic was that? How anticlimactic. Okay. I was all excited too because it had bubbles. Oh my Lord. Let me see here, guys. So, let's see if the I'm going to assume like these just needed more, or maybe my puree is not enough. I'm guessing that means that there wasn't enough sugar, so maybe I need, guys, nothing on that one either. When I don't put it over, it will explode. Nothing. I'm so disappointed. Oh, that one had a little bit more. That one had a little bit more. That one had a little bit more. Nope. Oh my God. So it looks like I epically failed when it comes to making fizzy second fermentation kombucha. But now it's for the fun part. We get to actually taste the stuff. Okay, so obviously I have failed epically. And I am sure that one of you wonderful viewers out there does kombucha and you do second fermentation and you make the most delicious, fizzy, carbonated second fermentation ever. And you need to help a girl out. Help a girl out, because this was so disappointing to me. But this is okay because I usually don't take defeat just lying down. I'm going to come back bigger, better, and stronger. You best believe it. And I'm going to come back to these and I'm going to do my darndest to create fizzy second fermentation kombucha. So I'm going to go down the line that I've got all of my stuff sorted out. Blackberry with lemon, strawberry with lemon, just being its lemony goodness self, and then lemon and honey. I was really hoping for a good fizzy lemon and honey, and maybe we throw some ginger in there, and we could just make something nice and soothing for our throats. But here we go. A regular blackberry. I'm a texture person, by the way, too, and because the puree is still in there, there's a good chance I'm going to make a terrible face just because the puree feels weird when I drink it. I don't like pulp in my orange juice either, Sumi. Ooh. Yeah, now imagine that fizzy. Oh yeah, blackberry's good. Blackberry's good. So let's see, blackberry and lemon. I like lemon, I like citrusy things, so I'm assuming I'm probably gonna like this too. Even better. That one's even better. Okay, puree. That's good, kind of like getting a snack with your drink though. Strawberry. And this one is like super fragrant, just, you know, if they say like if you smell something really good, it's probably going to taste good. Like this smells just so good and it tastes really good. And we've got strawberry and lemon. The lemon hits in the back. It's at the end of that flavor profile. Now lemon. I'm likely to pucker. I'm likely to pucker with this one. Oh. Yeah. But I like that. I'm a lemon person. Lemon and honey. This is the best one. This is the best one. And there's a part of me that wants to just throw them all in a big glass and see. But I won't. So I think one of the ways I can help if I puree this thickly again, but you guys can tell me, like, were my puree skills not on point? Is that why that affected it? I'm sure you guys probably already filled up my comment section with it. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, I kind of like the second fermentation. Don't look at the house behind me that hasn't been cleaned. I would be lying if I didn't tell you that I weren't a little bit disappointed in my first go around at my second fermentation, or the 2F. I don't know what I did wrong. So that's where I'm going to kind of let you find people come and tell me what I did wrong. I really like the flavors. I really like the flavors that come up in the kombucha. So not even to talk about all of the gut health pros that come from kombucha, but I really like the flavors that I tried here. I'm dying to try raspberry now. Maybe like a lemon rosemary. See, and that's one of the things that I've been drawn to when it comes to kombucha, especially adding flavors to them, because literally you can come up with whatever you want. And even though there are specialty kombuchas in stores and things like that, I can make it a lot cheaper at home. And odds are I can craft it to a flavor profile that I specifically love to drink. And it might even be a flavor combination that you wouldn't find in a specialty store with specialty kombuchas with lots of different varieties. So you kind of do get the benefit of the doubt when you do this at your own home. You save a little bit of money, and not to mention you can create something that's completely unique. These are really unique. I really like these. I probably will be drinking these. The only thing I will say is that I will I don't like the texture of the fruit while I'm trying to drink. If it were a smoothie, because mentally it's different, I would probably be able to hang with it, but the pulp from the puree and things is just not my thing. So I would probably run these through like cheesecloth, or even like some of my milk filters, my milk filtering discs, which I can show you. We drink our milk raw from our goats here, but I do filter them through these little discs because they're fine enough to catch dirt, hair, and all kinds of other things, but it lets all of the milk come through. I bet I could use these to filter through that puree and put it into bigger containers rather than just letting them stay in the bottle, because that's the only thing that I don't like about this. Now tell me if you do your second fermentation in bottles like this, because I had my doubts. This is what I saw everybody using, but I don't like that it bottlenecks and that the puree or the chunks of fruit kind of get stuck here. So if there's a better solution there, if you think, let me know. Link me different videos, suggest different things, because while I did try to do some research for this and to be as prepared as possible, I love to just go by trial by fire and see how badly I can fail at things before it forces me to come back at it again with more knowledge, more help from you guys, and to bring back an even bigger and better product. Because I love the flavor. If there were fizz, if there was like some type of carbonation with it, they would be the bomb diggity. They're great. They're just not that great yet, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Thank you guys for coming along on my first second fermentation journey with kombucha. I really love Fermented February because I usually try to do a lot of my firsts with you guys. Probably won't wait till next year to start a sourdough starter, but it's really fun to do it in this collaboration because it pushes me. I get to meet lots of people that already do fermentation, and a lot of you had really great suggestions the last couple years that I've done the Fermented February with Anna at the Fermented Homestead. So I want to thank you all for being here. Don't forget to leave your comments down in the comment section below. If you like what you saw here, or you want to come along for any goaty goodness, farmyard shenanigans, any of the things that you might want to see here on the channel, go ahead, ring that notification bell and subscribe. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for being here with me. I hope that you enjoyed this year's Fermented February with our kombucha, the second generation. I hope that you are all staying healthy out there and being kind to one another. We will catch you in the next one. God bless y'all. Bye. See you guys, I knew it would work. See, just got it in here. And it's straining.